Okay, so I've seen several videos from this fuck. He does like an animated vampire thing to talk for him. Like, I thought I was weird just pointing the camera up or fucking having a fucking blinking icon or something. But his name is Taylor the Fiend. And basically, the point of his channel is women suck, dating sucks for men. There's a lot of whining. And I'm making this video as a response to him. For those who have not seen anything of mine before, I am a transgender woman. I lived as a man for the first 29 years of my life, basically. A lot of reasons for that, but societal bullshit and needing to get away from shit and transition, and it took me a while to become me. As a result of this, though, I tried dating as a man. I've tried dating as a woman-ish. If you consider trans women, I've tried dating as that too. And it is considerably different. Let's talk about it. You can go watch his videos if you want to hear his opinions, because his opinions suck for the most part. They basically are whining that he can't find a pretty woman that likes him. Maybe he can't find a woman, period, that likes him, because even the ugly women have higher standards than him. And you should definitely hear my experience. This is my experience. As a man, I liked every single woman's picture on Tinder or wherever I happen to be dating, regardless of what they looked like. Why? Because I don't give a fuck what you look like. The ones that like me back, those I read. Okay? And my experience as a man was that was few and far between that ever fucking happened. And with the amount of effort that I put into it and the amount of conversations I was having, I had dates. I had many dates. I hooked up several times even off of there. I dated one woman for the better part of 6 or 7 months off of there. Her name was Tiffany. She was a bitch from hell. So, women suck. Right? That's your whole premise. Let's talk about dating men. I'm not going to talk about dating trans women. We'll get to that. But dating men, the thing that I noticed is instead of basically liking everybody and seeing what's sorted out at the end, I have to be very selective. I have to be very, very selective about any man that I even remotely show attention or interest in. Because here's kind of how things go. We'll get to that in a minute, but let's start the beginning. Most men send you a picture of their penis as a hello. And when I say most men, somewhere in the neighborhood of 95 to 99% of all men will send you a picture of their penis in the first conversation. Somewhere in the realm of half of them will open the conversation with that. Now, part of this is I am trans and okay. I think they do this to all women. I think this is kind of the major failing here is this dude is talking about wanting a life partner and love and whatever. You should get that you're not most dudes, and that if you are looking for that, I don't know how to tell you how to get that because of what your fellow mates are doing. Basically, there's so much fucking trash that if I get messages from you and you don't look like anything I'd be interested in or say anything that I might be interested in, why would I be interested in you? You have to like sell yourself. You have to express yourself as a dude because you are now the chick in reality. And this is really what upsets him and really upsets most men is basically the world should be the other way, right? That's how it's been for millennia. Men see what they want, they go for it. You live in a world now where the girl chooses. So as such, if you're selling yourself to them with horrible pictures and a description that is full of misspellings and fucking poorly written and stupid, you're not going to get someone like me anyway. If you would like other types of women, you should write your shit to attract those kinds of women. You should get that if you date Ray Ray, I'm kind of like dating a fucking encyclopedia. Okay? Most men flat out can't hang with this. That's why I usually just have fun with men. You know, I kind of like the fact that they just send me pictures of their dicks. I'm the slut that just sorts out by what your dick looks like. Okay? There are us. We do exist. But you should get that those of us that do that aren't looking for a long-term relationship. For whatever reason. If you're really looking for a long-term relationship with a woman, they will never start with sex and shit like that usually. So, would I personally like to date are other trans women? I met my girlfriend Dakota and we dated for over a year. And that's the best relationship I've ever had. And it was one of like mutual respect and love. And it was this like beautiful lesbian thing with dicks. And, you know, that's what I like. I think a lot of this male-female dynamic bullshit is some sort of fucked up power struggle or something between men and women. We're stuck in the middle of some sort of a societal war between some rich old lady that runs half the world and some rich old man that runs half the world, and they both think that it should be a certain way or some shit. And this Taylor the Fiend guy, he sees things in a very traditionalist view or whatever, and that, you know, basically, women should want his dick. And the thing that you should get about women is, they do not want your dick. Women want love, for the most part, and that has to do with biology and how they're wired sexually. Men do not understand women, and women do not understand men because they've never experienced one another's hormones. If you did, you would get that, like, they're a different fucking animal than you. All you want to do is fuck all the time. A lot of men just want a girl that's down to fuck all the time. And if you want that, you should get that women that are like that have mental problems, usually. Not all the time, but usually. And it's really, like, it's not all it's cracked up to be. Men go after the wrong thing. Women go after the wrong thing too, and this is half of his bitch, is basically that women are shallow as fuck now. And, you know, I think that's pretty much true for the most part in modern society. Like, I think it depends on the woman, and it's kind of case-by-case basis, but any of the women that dude wants, the 10s, yes, they're shallow as fuck. Like, welcome to fucking pretty people. In case you've never met any. You know, I could say a name here, but I don't want to make him think he's pretty. That fuck has many of the issues. Anyway, I don't know if there's really a point to this other than dating sucks because of men and women, both. Dating sucks no matter what. And like, even if you remove fucking all this shit from it, which I put it to you that being a trans lesbian is about the best way to remove all this garbage from it. Even that has its issues. Like, there's a lot of, like, relationship bullshit that's blamed on man-woman shit. And, like, in reality, women should get that if you're married to a man, he married you and pays for your shit in order to have a fucking sexual object. He might love you too, but you should provide this value and service to him. If you understood men at all, you would do that. You would own a big bag of fucking lingerie and be ready to get fucked every time he came home. That's the nature of men. That's the nature of testosterone. They want to fuck you. And just hanging out and being friends is somewhat torture if they want to fuck. So, like, you need to get that. There's a lot of shit where, like, women need to understand that most men, if they're talking to you politely, they're holding back the monster that wants to fuck you so bad they can't fucking stand it. And, like, this is what women like. They want someone that will restrain that until they say they want it. They should want it more, whether they want it or not. If women just had sex with men more, the whole fucking world would be better. Like, we have a declining birth rate right now. You want to know why we have a declining birth rate? It's this shit. Basically, feminism ruined the world to some degree for men and women. Also, they don't see that, but like, if your man isn't happy, then you're never going to be happy. That's like some old school 1940s housewife shit. But ladies, it's pretty much fucking true. I'm not saying you should be some sort of sex slave cook or whatever, but at the same time, like, if that's what makes him happy, wouldn't you do it at least every once in a while? Why is it, oh, well, we have made this very rigid, somewhat British society based on what the Queen of England does. Really, like, our whole American society post-World War II is copying the Queen of England, and it's sickening. We're so fucking English now, it makes me fucking sick to my stomach. And all of this shit is a result of this. The feminism movement gained a lot of power for a lot of reasons in a lot of ways. But I think it's most symbolized by the fucking Queen of England being the Queen of England for fucking better part of 100 years. And steering upper crust English and American society. Because that's what they do. Like, this is the thing a lot of people don't understand is the monarchy in England basically concluded that if they directly ruled, they would be overthrown. And it was better to stay the upper crust of society and give the people freedom for a while and see how things shook out. And this is where, like, the result of what's going on in the world now, I swear to God, is going to end up with a new class of nobility that will eventually even be gods with the technology that they're going to have. Like, we are watching rich people make themselves gods. If I'm right about the whole World War III thing. crazy. I'll also note that my friend Charlie Mike used to talk all the time about this rat experiment where they put rats into a model of like Tokyo or New York or something. They all lived in little apartments, and the little apartments gave them like food and drugs and whatever, and like they were little rat paradises, and they could go anywhere in the city that they wanted to go. But they were put into a little thing that was their thing, and they knew it was their thing, and they were all in their little things, and then the doors would open, and they could go out and go wherever they wanted. And the thing that they found was basically in this rat paradise of a modern city with little rat apartments, pretty rapidly the rats stopped having babies and just started killing each other and dying. And just like sitting in their apartments and doing nothing. What we are watching is an experiment in society. Much like that rat cage. And you that are having dating difficulties, you should realize that you are those fucking rats that are starting to not have sex. You need to get out of the city. You need to get away from city women. Like, go out into the country somewhere and build a fucking farm and then advertise on farmersonly.com. That's actually probably not a bad idea, but like, once you have the farm, I would try to get a city woman to come out to your farm. Like, this is what you really want. Like, a lot of women are trapped where they don't want to be or whatever. And if you had a fucking, like, 20-acre plot with horses and a small garden and shit and some fucking sheep and cows and chickens, that's like paradise to a lot of girls that are stuck in the city. Especially if you will do all of the work and all they have to do is look really, really hot and occasionally cook food. That sounds really horrible, but I would take that. Like, there's a lot of them that wouldn't be willing to do the work once they get there, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like, you should know that they're a girl and they're not going to work as hard as you. And that you're going to have to do the work. And, like, this is part of the whole thing of, like, a lot of the lessons in the Bible are telling you that you're a man and you're going to have to do man stuff and just worry about fucking women and having babies with them, and then they're probably going to die in childbirth, and then you're going to raise those kids. That's the gist of the Bible. You know, you wonder why religious people are fucked up. Basically, most religions view women as disposable cum dumpsters. Because that's what they are for most of history. They're weak and prone to disease, basically. Think of how much of history women started having babies at 13. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm saying is, why were they doing that? Women didn't live to be very old usually then. Like, when they did, they were a successful mother and had a bunch of children young while they were healthy and could. And then those kids took care of them in their old age. Like, this is some biological shit that no one wants to fucking acknowledge. We live in some sort of, like, weirdo world where you can't even talk about this shit. And as I watch this dude's shit, I feel for him because I've experienced what he's talking about. I can't imagine it's gotten better in the last 5 years. But I think I have a unique viewpoint on the female side of things that is basically men are jackasses that only want to fuck you and then leave for the most part. And there's so many of those, it makes it impossible to know the sweet, nice, caring guy that wants to fuck you on repeat and marry you. Like, you blend in right with them. You have to set yourself apart. Learn to advertise your dick. That's what I'm saying.